Everyone dreams of living an uncommon life, and the best asset you have to achieve your dreams is you. Welcome to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. We're going to introduce you to people who are living uncommonly. We're also going to give you some tools and strategies for building wealth and for pursuing an uncommon path that is uniquely right for you.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Uncommon Wealth Podcast, where I'm your host, Philip Ramsey.
And I'm Aaron Kramer.
Coming at you with a simple step. Aaron has no idea.
Yeah, you're going to let me know because I don't know what we're doing.
So no idea. We just hit record.
Hit me here.
Here we go. All right. So I saw this video. Simon Sinek, I really like his content. I just like the way that he thinks, the way that he produces stuff. But in this video, it was so interesting. He said he read a study. The study, I don't know where it was at, so I'm just going to reference the study that Simon Sinek just referenced. And he says that it only takes 8 minutes in front of somebody to change your mindset completely to the other side. So if you're in a bad state and you're in like a depressed mood or like you're in a dark place, it only takes 8 minutes in front of somebody in order to change your mindset to be like, you know what, maybe I'm not as bad. So he says that his code word for everybody that he knows and on his team is a text that says this: hey, do you have 8 minutes? Which basically says like, I'm in a bad place, right? And first, he didn't really expand on that, but I do think that it's a powerful thing of like, who are your people that you can text and say, hey, do you have 8 minutes? Because that all it takes is a conversation in front of somebody. It takes only 8 minutes in order to change wherever state you're in to a more positive outlook. And I thought that's super good because it's not as always easy to say, hey, I'm in a bad place like that. Okay. But if somebody texted me and says, hey, do you have 8 minutes? I'll know. So like, let this be like a public service announcement. I think I have a lot of people that could be texting me, hey, do you have 8 minutes? I feel like I could be texting some people, hey, do you have 8 minutes sometimes?
Yeah.
But I wanted to say this, and poor Aaron, you don't get to talk too much, but here we go. There was one point last year was a fairly heavy year for Philip and I think Uncommon Wealth Partners. But I remember having one specific day that I texted the whole team. And I said to the team, do you remember this, Aaron? I'm in a bad place.
Yeah.
I keep staring off into space and I'm sitting on the couch and I can't get up. And I was in a dark place. And I remember what Aaron said to me that totally changed my mindset. And he wasn't saying like, no, Philip, we need you. Like, you can't go down. No, he didn't say that at all. I feel like God used him to say, nope, Philip, sit there for as long as you want. We'll take it from here. And about 5 minutes goes by and I was like, I think I'm in a better place because there was nobody relying on me. And Aaron was like, yep, the team and I will take care of it. You have all the authority to sit there wherever you're at. And that was like my kind of sense before I even knew like, hey, does anybody have 8 minutes? I could even text that, but I wanted to at least put this as a simple step to make sure that you have those people, not only in your life to say, hey, do you have 8 minutes, but you have other people that you're communicating. If you ever need 8 minutes of my time, I'm totally open and I'll stop everything for it. That's my simple step. Talk to me, man.
Like, dude, just to touch on that, because the funnest thing that I love, I guess funnest, the best thing about the 8 minutes thing that really like hit me is if you stick to the 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, you know, like time frame, it is truly just venting.
Yeah.
Yep. You need time to vent. Now, if it turns into an hour conversation, now you're doing harm. You're getting all yourself all wound up, and
that's good. So keep it to 8 minutes.
I just, in my experience, I'm just thinking about like Phil. You and I have had conversations before. Where like, yeah, it was short, like 10 minutes. You know, like I got it off my back. You know, I've called you like, hey man, I need someone to talk because you're really great to talk to. Like, I mean, I'm saying this on air, she'll never hear, but like, I'm married. We have like every marriage has like issues. Sometimes you just need time to vent. Like, you're so good at like, I can vent about my wife and there's no love taken away from my wife for you. Like, no judgment. Like you love her just as much before or after. So it's like, which some friends can't do that. They end up taking your side and then they're like, they start looking bad upon the person that you're like, you don't do that. So it's one of your superpowers. And then it's like, and so I'm like, but I walk away feeling great. Now, there's other times about other subjects that me and you both are heated about. Next thing
we escalated pretty quick.
An hour, I'm like, and I feel like my blood pressure's gone up through this. This was not venting. This was like, this was complaining.
Yeah. So I think there's something to be said about that. But if you ever get a text from somebody, hey, do you have 8 minutes? You'll know that this is kind of like a beacon or a flare to help. I need help. And then I would also say, don't worry about what you need to say. Just call, make the phone call. In my last story, and we're like bumping up to 5 minutes. So here we go. It's a little longer. Simple step. But I had a buddy call me and he was in the throes of it. And all he did was cry. Like all he was doing was crying. And like I didn't say anything. And I remember praying like, Lord, I don't know what to say here. And I didn't have any prompting to say anything. And then later, about a year later, he was like, you want to know what the most impactful moment was when I was in the darkest moment? And I was like, I have no idea. Tell me. He was like, when you just listened to me cry for, it probably had been 10 minutes. I don't know. Like, and at the end of that, I just said, hey, I'm sorry, man. Like, that's kind of the only thing I said. And he was like, it was so impactful that all you said was sorry. And I do constitute that to the Holy Spirit saying, because Philip likes to talk, let's be honest. But I didn't feel like I should have talked. And like, at the end of the day, I have confidence in jumping into those situations that somebody texts, hey, you have 8 minutes, because I know that sometimes you don't need to talk. And that could be the most powerful thing. So there's my simple step.
I got to say this. If that friend is listening to this podcast, and for both of you to like handle that situation like you did, like there ain't nothing more masculine than that. Because you know how many guys would have been scared away? Like, well, I'm one of them. I'm like, Philip, I ain't ever calling you and crying. Like, I don't cry. It's an issue. Like, and if I am, I'm doing it by myself with my dog. Like,
yeah.
So the fact that you like listened to him, accepted it, and then the fact that he felt comfortable to do that with another guy like that, super masculine. Whoever you are out there, like, good job.
It's good. All right. Well, you've been listening to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. There's your simple step. You got 8 minutes. We'll be here for you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
That's all for this episode, brought to you by Uncommon Wealth Partners. Be sure to visit uncommonwealth.com to learn more about our services. Don't miss an episode as we introduce you to inspiring people who are actively pursuing an uncommon life.